Hello, welcome to The Insight. My name is Hamza Dabjirin. On Sunday, President Musa Bihi of Somaliland announced that the voter registration exercise will commence on 28 December. But still, the current political upheaval of Somaliland remains unsolved. In recent months, the political dispute between the Somaliland political parties has escalated over the upcoming elections and its sequencing. In general, two elections are supposed to take place by the beginning of the next year, the presidential election and the political parties and associations election. But the main debate is about which election should be held first. All sides made clear their positions to the public. The president wants the political parties and association election to be held first. The three political associations who win the election and registered as a national parties will compete for the presidency. President Bihi's view is that the 10-year term for political parties is due to expire December, and it is necessary to hold this election. The president has not wavered on his position. On the other side, opposition parties UID and Wadani believe the opposite view and told the public in all possible means that the Bihi's administration should be ready for the presidential election as long as UID, Wadani and Kulmiye are the legitimate political parties with valid licenses. Also, the opposition parties argue that the laws and regulations that were supposed to guide the political parties and associations election is yet to be enacted by the lawmakers, while the Constitution clearly states about the presidential election it is time and procedure. The situation worsened when the opposition parties called upon their supporters for nationwide protests to demand the presidential election to take place on time. 5 people were killed in those protests. Dozens were also arrested. To display tensions, there have been several mediation efforts procured by a voluntary mediation committee and later joined by the two houses speakers. The mediation efforts ended in vain. The opposition parties blamed President Bihi and alleged that he trusts no one and believes that only his words and actions are the law. UID Chairman Faisal Ali Warabe confirmed that President Bihi declined to give full confidence in the two chairmen of the House of Representatives and Gurti, whom he chose to mediate, and the opposition agreed. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Abdurrazzaq Khalif, made a similar statement that the President rejected to give them the confidence to take the role of the mediation. Another voluntary mediation committee spearheaded by prominent businessmen gave hope to the people after they announced recommendations that seemed to many a middle ground solution. The recommendation asked the Parliament to enact a new law that would allow the combination of presidential and political associations election. The move was immediately welcomed by the two opposition parties, and the House of Representatives later enacted the law. However, the House of Elders killed the bill, rejecting it without formal debate. So, what's the National Electoral Commission's take on this poll disputes? In their last public statement, the Somaliland Electoral Commission announced that it will not be able to hold the Somaliland presidential election on the scheduled date of November 13. The Electoral Commission said that they need 9 months starting from October 2022 to prepare for the presidential election. Yes, let us make this clear. The Electoral Party never mentioned it in its statement holding the political parties and associations election. The Commission said that during the period of 9 months, it will prepare all the technical and financial requirements of the registration of voters and the holding of the presidential election in Somaliland. Somaliland President Musa Bihi lost the confidence of the two opposition parties after they declared that they will no longer consider him a legitimate president, a move strongly criticized by the government. Somaliland's Interior Minister Mohamed Kahin described the move as a political misfortune, and it is similar as not recognizing the existence of any government in Somaliland. However, Wadani and UID did not state whom they consider as the legitimate president to proceed with the government activities. In the press statement, the opposition parties clarified once more their desire for the election to take place in line with the technical timetable proposed by the National Electoral Commission, which stated the election could be held within 9 months. The political associations who were recently registered to participate in the upcoming elections by the Political Parties Registration Committee have added their voice to the current political contention over the election sequence and Bihi's legitimacy as the president of Somaliland. In a joint statement, the political associations firmly denounced the opposition party's statement to consider President Bihi and his cabinet as illegitimate, claiming that only an elected leader could replace him to avoid a powerful coup. They solidly packaged the political parties and associations election should be held first, which is the same view President Musa Bihi believes in as the opposition parties insist no other election to come before the presidential election. According to the statement, the political associations will no longer accept any future talks over the election dispute in which they are not part of it. They called for all political stakeholders to de-escalate tension and solve the contention through negotiations. Therefore, it seems that President Bihi will give the biggest disappointment to the opposition parties after December 26, the time the license of the political parties will officially expire. This could be the main excuse President Bihi will deliver to hold the political parties and associations election. The world is witnessing countries meeting in conflicts and civil wars due to elections and poll disputes. Somaliland does not want to go that way. Therefore, Somaliland political stakeholders must put compassion and courage at the head of their collective decision-making. They must use all the leverage they have, political, economic, and wisdom, to prevent conflicts and find lasting solutions. And they need to put aside divisions to invest in peaceful and inclusive decisions. And that is the episode of Inside this week. Thank you for watching.